I was hoping you could say a few words about Jerusalem.
Well, it's a remarkable place. I've been there 9 times, and every time I go, I feel as if I've come home to a place. Part of it is because of the extraordinary history, but also it's because of the vibrancy, the commitment that people have to the city of Jerusalem, and all that not only has and is happening there, but will happen there. But I also believe that it's very important that Jerusalem be a city of peace, and it cannot be a city of peace as long as it's divided, and as long as it's a place where the potential for terror and violence remains every single day. And I think that what the Jerusalem Reclamation Project is doing is so remarkable, because it really is a mission not only of purchasing land, it's a mission of peace. And I'm delighted to be a part of this event tonight.
Now, what do you say as someone who supports Israel so strongly and for its security? What do you say to those who claim that it's political pressure in America applied by the Jewish community that causes the support of Israel in the administration?
I don't think, for me, it's not a political issue. It's an issue of principle. Israel is our only true ally in the Middle East. They're the only true democracy that exists. The annihilation of Israel, which is the stated goal of terrorist states, is a real threat against America as much as it is a threat against Israel. And so when we see that Israel's being threatened, we need to understand that it's democracy, it's freedom that's being threatened. And if the democracy of Israel can be threatened, then so can ours, and so will ours. And that's why Americans can never just turn their back and say, what happens there doesn't matter to us. It does matter to us. It affects us every single day we breathe.
Do you think we have a chance by practicing diplomacy with terrorist nations?
Well, you can't negotiate with a terrorist because he's not operating with a moral framework. Negotiations have to have a context of honor and a context of law. And a terrorist doesn't have a context of law. He has a context of murder and mayhem. And it's not about trying to have an honorable conclusion to anything. It's about believing that their stated goal is the destruction and annihilation not only of Israel, but of the United States and all of us who do not accept the radical views of Islamofascism. Our real enemy in this world today is Islamofascism. It's not the Arab people per se, but it's the radical tenets of the jihadists who aren't interested in negotiating a peace. They're interested in annihilating every free and, frankly, democratic people on the planet.
When did you first visit Israel?
First time I went was 1973, when I just finished high school, just a few months before the Yom Kippur War, in fact. And then I started going back in the 1980s and went back every year for several years, and went once in the mid-90s, even while I was governor. And, I look forward to going back. I love to say next year in Jerusalem.